I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here. But then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. It is I, your lovable host, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust, but that's just the state motto here in New Hampshire. Other state mottos and the federal government motto is evidently big government or bust. It is Tuesday, July the 7th in the year of our Lord, 2015. The number that you can call this evening is 603-835-3224. Now, I don't want to, some of you out there who are listening probably think, well, geez, Rod kind of sounds a little bit down tonight, huh? You know, I go out there and I listen to people, I talk to people, I do the research to do this show, and I do all of this stuff to try to do it a little, save you a little bit of the trouble. But I got to tell you, today was just, what is the 3-letter OMG? I have we got all these people out there who are falling in love with and falling behind Bernie Sanders, a noted and admitted socialist, more likely a communist. And we have all these people who seem to think that, you know what? Hey, why don't we tax that rich person more? Because evidently, when you tax a rich person, you take away from them, everybody else does better, right? I mean, that's the way it's always worked in a socialistic society, and they tax the wealthy to death. Everybody else, who's not rich, well, they get a little bit wealthier, right? No, that's not how it actually works, and I know it's not how it works and happens. But folks, I got to tell you, I've come across a few things that really have me concerned. I mean, they really have me and you gotta understand, you have to understand that you need to get out there. Really, that you need to get out there and participate in this government. This is a participatory style of government. This is not a sit back and watch it happen type of government. This was designed to be a participatory government from our founders. They made it such that the regular, everyday, average Joe, you and I, could actually participate in the governance of ourselves. By getting out there voting, by getting out there and running, by getting out there and influencing those that you've elected. It's a participatory type of government. And it does not do well when you just sit back and say, oh, well, what can you do? You can't fight City Hall. That's a bunch of BS. You got to fight City Hall, because if you don't, you get the stuff that I'm going to bring to you tonight. Now, I don't want you to get depressed. Well, maybe you should get depressed, because maybe that'll get a lot of you up off your asses and start doing something about this. I mean, it's great and fine and hunky-dory just to go out there and complain, I suppose. But if you don't do anything, then what the hell are you complaining about? If you go out there and you support these idiots who all they want to do is just tax and spend and regulate you, then you don't have anything to complain about, because you're getting what you're voting for. To some degree, I think some of the liberals are getting a taste of their own medicine with this Confederate battle flag thing. I'm not going to revisit that, but just note that some of them are starting to say, especially if you look on social media, you can see, this whole thing about the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard and pulling the Dukes of Hazzard. You got liberals out there now saying, oh, wait, what? Are you kidding? This is dumb. Well, hello, you idiotic liberals. You voted for this stuff. And when that kid went and shot up the Black Baptist Church and killed 9 people, everybody said, well, it was because of that flag. It's the flag that did it. That Confederate flag, it's got to be banned. Well, yeah, I agree it should not be flying over government buildings and government offices, but just to stop selling it and try to ban it from everywhere, from the public discourse and public view, that's a bunch of BS. I mean, now you even got NASCAR running around saying, well, this is a highly offensive flag. Oh, bullshit, it's highly offensive to you. That's the whole reason for NASCAR. Don't even, look, I'm not a NASCAR fan, and I know NASCAR's history. It's all about being a rebel and that flag. I mean, this is not getting, it is out of hand. And now Hillary Clinton is out there on the campaign trail. This is a woman that was cackling and shrieking about dissenting and saying, we have a right to dissent from our government. Anybody, we can disagree with anybody. Anybody, we have a right to disagree. And now she's out there on the campaign trail. If you diss our, you can't be dissing us. If you diss our government now, you're dissing our democracy as a whole. What kind of BS quote is that? But folks, it gets better. Well, if you want to say, or it gets worse. I mean, I beg you and I implore you to get off your collective asses and get out there and look, you got Donald Trump out there who's telling it like it is. And frankly, there are a lot of you got all the GOP running around saying, oh my God, Donald, you can't say that. That's just wrong. That's cruel. And you have the lamestream media who's out there, just pounding away. Oh, Donald, he's a racist and blah, and he's losing all his business. And, people are just abandoning. They shouldn't be abandoning Donald. They should be applauding him because the American people are applauding Donald. They're saying, yay, Donald. You're saying what we've been feeling. I mean, he's up in the polls like you would not believe. Why do you think he's not backing down? Because it's resonating with the people who can put him in the White House, the voter. And you got the stupid GOP running around trying to cover their heads and CYA, cover their asses by saying, oh, no. What Donald Trump said was not racist. The government statistics prove Donald Trump was right. I mean, let's face it. What is it? We released over 36,000 convicted illegal criminals who went out in our American streets and committed more crime. And then you get, well, it's just a sad story. We got the one thing in San Francisco. That's just the minority. That doesn't happen. That's just a rare. It's not. Yeah, it's not a rare occurrence. It's an everyday thing. Donald Trump was right. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I endorse the man for president, but I got to tell you something. He's looking pretty damn good. And I gotta tell you, I wish I was standing next to Sean Hannity, because I would have slapped the crap out of him. Well, now Donald's got to tell us what his plans are. No, he does not. He does not. Why? I don't see you, Sean, out there saying, why don't every other GOP candidate give us all their plans for everything? Why all of a sudden does the Donald got to do it? He's got a message, and he can keep pounding it away. I mean, I have no idea where half these people's heads are. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have wonderful Obamacare. And I got to tell you, this is exactly what we get. You people out there say, well, you don't like Obamacare. You don't like Obama this. You don't like Obama that. You don't like Obamacare. And now you got it. You're stuck with it. You hate it. And it's only going to get worse. And it's designed to get worse. It's designed to get worse because you think it's bad now. You just wait till we get a single payer system, because that is the goal, folks. Do not freaking doubt me. It's the goal. They've said it. It is on tape. Barack Obama has said it. Bernie Frank has said it. Nancy Pelosi has said it. Even Hillary Clinton has said it. They've all said it. At some point in the recent past, that the final goal, the ultimate goal, is single-payer socialism health care. And if you think it's bad now, you think it's expensive now, you think it's difficult to get around it now, you just wait until we get single payer. Because it's coming, folks. It's not if, it's when. It is coming. And and then you got Sean today talking about, Donald Trump's going to talk about an alternative plan for healthcare. No, he doesn't. Donald Trump has got to say, get the hell out of healthcare government. Get the hell out of the way. Get out of it. There doesn't need to be a plan. My plan? No plan. Forget it. Get out. You don't belong there. It's unconstitutional. That's my plan. It's none of your freaking business what I do for my health care. Well, evidently somebody else thinks it is their business. They think it's the government's business, specifically the IRS. This is from Forbes magazine, Forbes.com. Small businesses are now threatened with a $36,500 IRS fine for helping employees with health insurance cost. Yeah, you heard me right, folks. $36,500 fine from the IRS. If you're a small business and you want to help your employees with their health insurance costs, I don't. We don't live in the United States of America anymore. I don't know where the hell we are. But here's the story. Small businesses that reimburse employees for the cost of premiums for individual health insurance policies or pay their health costs directly will be fined up to $36,500 a year per employee under a new Internal Revenue Service regulation that took effect July 1st. Now, according to the notice, an employer arrangement that reimburses or pays for employee individual health premiums is considered to be a group health plan that is subject to the, wait a minute, wait for it, that is subject to the $100 per employee per day penalty. The penalty applies whether the reimbursement is considered a before-tax or after-tax contribution. Are you freaking kidding me? So now your employer, he can't. Oh, this will get rid of those Cadillac plans. That's what they were talking about. It's not fair that you work for somebody who can afford to pay for your health care premiums. That's a Cadillac plan. I mean, that makes you rich. Well, we can't have that because if everybody else can't have it, you can't have it. And if your employer thinks they can afford it, well, we're going to make sure that they can afford it. It's the biggest penalty that nobody is talking about, says Kevin Coleman, Kuhlman, a policy director for the National Association of Independent Businesses. Now, the penalty for compensating employees for health care related expenses is enough to destroy most small businesses. This week, the IRS starts punishing businesses for helping workers buy health insurance. Let me repeat that. This week, July 1st, the month that we celebrate our nation's independence, the IRS starts punishing businesses for helping their employees buy mandatory health insurance. Are you people out there hearing me? The new IRS penalty is more than 18 times greater than the $2,000 employer mandate penalty under Obamacare for not providing qualifying health insurance for employees. And employers with fewer than 50 workers are not exempt as they are from employer mandated penalty. So you get penalized if you don't provide, and then you get whomped if you do provide. And, the small bit, the 50 or fewer workers, that exemption does not exist for this $36,500 fine. So you're a mom and pop shop. You and your wife and maybe your adult son are the only 3 employees of the business. And you think that you're going to be able to help, you think you're going to have your business buy or reimburse you, each one of you individually, for your health insurance. And here comes the IRS. Oh, that'll be $36,500 fine for you, a $36,500 fine for your wife, and a $36,500 fine for your son. Pay up now. Look, don't think I'm they just said it. That's not an exaggeration. You don't get an exemption if you're under 50 employees. They're coming after they want to destroy business. And you've got people out there who do not want to repeal this. And I'm not talking Democrats. I don't want to hear any more of this repeal, replace crap. I just want to hear repeal. In fact, I don't want to hear repeal. I just want you to freaking repeal it. The good old Nike advertisement and slogan, just do it, is apropos for this. Just freaking do it. I mean, this is way beyond out of hand. There is no possible way that you can possibly tell me that this is good for the American economy and the American people. How is that possible? How is it possible that you have an employer who, they just, we're going to feel for employees. We want to help them out a little bit. And don't think that you can just go out there and try to boost one's salary to help them pay for this, because the IRS will sweep in and say, no, what you're actually doing is You say that you're doing X by giving them like a $5,000 raise, but no. What you're actually doing is helping them pay for their health insurance. That's a $36,000 fine, buddy. Trust me, this is all coming into play for what? For wage control as well. Because now if you give your employee too big of a raise without giving them a new title or advancement, the IRS is going to construe that. Do not doubt me. They're going to construe that as being a payment, a subsidy for health care. And they are going to fine the hell out of you. This is all about wage control. This is about price control, of which there isn't any. This is about health care control. This is just about plain control, folks. Plain control. Look, I bet, most of you probably either don't know or forgotten that Hawaii passed a law that says you now have to be 21 in order to smoke. Smoke tobacco! Use a tobacco product. Illegal. You got to be 18. Or you can't be 18. You got to be 21. So, yeah, you can fly halfway across the world, get into an M1A1 Abrams tank at the age of 20, and blow to hell the enemy, kill every single one of them, take another human being's life, but you cannot take a puff of a cigarette in Hawaii legally. Now, I know some, and I say the same thing about alcohol, and I know some of you think, well, Rod, that's a libertarian thought. No, it's not. It's a logical thought. How is it that it is quite all right for government to tell our young people exactly what they can and cannot do, but hey, you know what? You're not old enough to do this. You're not old enough to drink. You're not old enough to smoke. You're not old enough to do this. You're not old enough to do that. But you're old enough to do you're old enough to do two very, 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 very important things. Probably two of the most important things that you could possibly be charged with at the age of 18 to 20. You are old enough. Now, you're not old enough to drink. You're not old enough to smoke, but you're old enough to vote, and you're old enough to kill somebody else or be killed on the battlefield. How does that make any logical sense? Well, of course, it makes none. It makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. None of the and you run around talking about, well, everybody needs to have health insurance, and now everybody's got to have health insurance. So employers are saying, well, it's ending up being a lot more expensive than any of us thought, which is a bunch of bullshit, because those of us on the right told you the cost was gonna skyrocket, but you didn't believe it. So now you're caught by surprise, and you're saying, well, now we just want to try to help our employees because we want to keep our employees, right? Because they're good employees. So we're going to help them by help them pay a little bit or maybe all of their health insurance costs. And the IRS says, nope, slam, close that door. No. If you do that, you've got a nearly $40,000 fine waiting for you. And now you're standing there, with your shoulders up in the air and your hands up in the air saying, what? I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you were going to do that. I didn't know you wanted to do that. How can you do that? How can you take my money when I wanted to get... Look, it's not your money. How many times do we got to tell you that? When you have a runaway government that does not obey the Constitution, it is not your money. It all belongs to the government. They're just being nice enough to let you keep a little bit of it. It's not your money. Look, you earn $125,000. No, you don't. It's not yours. You earn $30,000. No, you don't. It's not yours. You earn $8.50 an hour. No, you don't. It's not yours. It all belongs to the government. So says the government through the IRS, through our taxation system. And they're telling you how to spend your money that they're letting you keep. And they're telling you if you spend it the wrong way, they're going to fine the hell out of you. You tell me if that's your money or not, if you get to spend it the way you want. You don't get to spend it the way you want because they're telling you how to spend your money. So if they're telling you how to spend your money, it's really not your money. It's theirs. Get it? Got it? Good.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up. with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
You know, just for all you people who are in favor of Obamacare, let me just point something out to you about this new IRS $36,000 penalty. The rule appears nowhere in the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare as it were, but was developed by the Obama administration's regulation writers at the IRS. Obama had his hand in this. That is directly affecting even those of you who support this stupid law. Now, the rules punish small businesses for providing the only health insurance support many can afford. A contribution to help employees pay premiums, skyrocketing premiums that we were told would not appear. We were told premiums were going to drop. Instead, they've shot through the roof. So the employers, some employers, this is the only way they can afford to help their employees. A contribution to help employees pay for premiums for their individual or family health insurance policies, or to help finance direct payment for medical services. Now, understand, reimbursing employees for the cost of insurance or medical services is a way for small business to help their workers without the administrative headaches of setting up a costly group plan. Most small employers don't have an HR department, and they can't, they don't have time, and they don't know how to, and they can't run through all the rigmarole of the healthcare law and all the obstacles and rules and regulations. And they don't have a benefits specialist. Why do you need a benefits specialist in order to administer something that should be so freaking simple? Hey, I want to give you $100 a month to help you pay for your health insurance. Why do you need a benefits specialist for that? So no more, says the IRS. If you take the simpler, easier route that you can afford, the IRS will slap you with a $100 a day per employee fine until you stop. So don't tell me they're not telling you how to spend your own damn money. They're saying, well, hey, if you stop spending it the way we don't want you to spend it, then we won't fine you anymore. We'll stop fining you. But if you keep spending it the way that we don't want you to spend it, we're going to fine the hell out of you. Now, evidently, Representative Charles Boustany has introduced legislation in the House, H.R. 2911, and Senator Charles Grassley in the Senate, S. 1697, to remedy the problem. Now, here's the problem. Both bills are awaiting congressional action. You want to tell me again how the Republicans want to repeal this crap? I almost said the S word. You want to tell me again how mainstream... Look, folks, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Now, I don't care who you support in the GOP. Right now, I got to tell you, I don't hear any of them except for the Donald standing up for you and me. Now, I'm in no way endorsing Donald Trump. I don't think he should be president. Look, he might make a very good one. Actually, he might. But I don't know if we want to, if this is a good time to risk putting such a bombastic personality in the Oval Office. He's a great businessman, probably extremely honest, straightforward, great negotiator. I'm not sure he's ready to be president material, but okay. But I got to tell you, there isn't a single candidate right now that is being totally upfront with us on the important issues of the day. I don't care if you're talking Ted Cruz. I don't care if you're talking Rand Paul. I don't care if you're talking Jeb Bush. I don't care if you're talking Marco Rubio or Christie or Walker or Jindal or any of them. None of them are. Understand that. Because, I'm not going to, if you want to come at me with, well, this person or this, this candidate is, you know what? I'm going to tell you to shut up your bullshit right now. There isn't a single candidate out there that I can put my weight behind right now. Not one. And this is why. I don't see any of them jumping on this. I don't see any. I hear Marco Rubio saying, well, we need to repeal and replace. Mr. Rubio, no, we don't need to replace. Get the hell out of health care. I don't hear Ted Cruz talking about, well, yeah, we could do an alternative plan. No, Mr. Cruz, we don't need an alternative plan. That goes for every single one of them. Even when it comes to health care, even the Donald talks about a different plan. None of them want the government out of your healthcare business. So don't come to me telling me that they're your candidate of choice is the only candidate who can do this, and that. No, it's bullshit. Because none of them want government out of your life. None. Not even Rand Paul. So don't even go there with Rand and try to get, well, no, he's not. He is not who you think he is. Plain and simple. None of them are out there talking about this. Zip, zilch, zero, nada. So don't come at me with your candidate of choice as if you've got a godsend and I'm supposed to be backing them. Ain't gonna happen yet. Look, I kept saying this is becoming a circus. We got 15, 16 people on the GOP side. Hell, you know what? Maybe we just haven't found the right candidate yet. Maybe the right candidate actually hasn't gotten in the race. I don't know. Because I'm telling you, the more I hear some of these people talk, the more disappointed I get in them. The more I hear the status quo, and I'm talking about the old guard and the new guard, from Jeb Bush down to Ted Cruz. They're all starting to sound alike. I'm serious, they are. And that's disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I want a government, and I want people who are going to be running for office that says, like Donald says about immigration, I want them to say everything like the Donald is saying about immigration, about government, period, in our lives. I want to hear it. I want to hear it factual. I want to hear it bombastically. I want to hear it boldly. Just put it. Don't try to candy coat it. It doesn't. You know what? He's got to, the Donald has got to sound more presidential. No, you know what sounds presidential? Somebody who lays down the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Well, maybe he shouldn't have said it. No, he should have said it exactly the way he said it. Plain and simple. That's exactly what I want the other 15 candidates on the Republican side to do. You're not sounding presidential, you're sounding like a polished politician. And I don't want that in the White House anymore. And you shouldn't either. We've already had plenty of polished politicians in the White House. And look at they effed everything up. From Bill Clinton, even George W. Bush to a certain extent. Hey, I know there are people out there, well, we like George. Really? George gave us the Patriot Act, folks. when it came down, and he didn't execute the war the war on terror like he should have. I thought for sure he was going to go in there, overwhelming force, and just kick the you-know-what out of all of those Middle Eastern countries. Nope, didn't do that. Little disappointed in George, frankly. Didn't get up with a smaller government, really, under GW either. In fact, we got a brand new, huge government bureaucracy called Homeland Security. Yeah, how's that TSA stuff working out for you? So I know I have a lot of friends who are George W. Bush supporters. Don't bring it to me. Do not, because I will point out all the big stuff that he effed up on. And why? I know some people say, George was a stupid idiot. No, George wasn't stupid. George was another polished politician. And then we get Obama. The ultimate polished politician. I'm sick of him. I'm done with them. Let's get more people like Donald Trump. They're not politically polished, but they'll tell you the damn truth. Straight up. No chaser. Speaking of government run amok, this is from WND.com. Protest judicial corruption and you will go to jail. Not you could. No, you will go to jail. And what is probably what you're thinking. Judge targets people who call into question integrity of the court. Folks, I can't make this stuff up. In response to a protester who shouted that the judicial system is corrupt, a Florida judge ordered the arrest of anyone outside the courthouse, including on certain public sidewalks, who calls into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges. Now, somebody want to tell me that there is no assault on the First Amendment? Y'all, I know some of y'all are out there. You're big against people burning the American flag. I mean, are you kidding me? You think that's more important than the government cracking down on your freedom of speech and freedom of expression? You think that we should have a law that protects the flag? Are you effing kidding me? You now have a judge who is ordering the arrest and jailing of anybody who expresses their First Amendment right by calling out the judiciary in the state of Florida. Look, I can't, this WND, I can't make this stuff up. The order was released on July 1st. Another July 1st thing, hey, the month that we celebrate our nation's independence. This was issued by Judge Mark Mahon, M-A-H-O-N, of the state's 4th Judicial Circuit. Now, among others, it was addressed to bar associations, senior judges, administrative judges, magistrates, public defenders, state attorneys, clerks, lawyers, and the sheriffs in Jacksonville, Clay, and Nassau counties. Now, Mahan, whose staff accepted a request from WND for comment but did not respond, explained in his order why he declared large sections of property, including sections of public sidewalk and parking garages, part of the judicial complex and banned certain speech. Did you hear what I just said? You had a judge who just banned certain speech. Now, all you people out there who are talking about hate speech, there you go. I guess calling the judicial system corrupt for whatever reason, that's hate speech. And that needs to be banned or controlled, right? Now, demonstrations or dissemination of materials that degrade or call into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges. So you can't say, the judge is a fink. Oh, no. Now you're calling into question the integrity of the judge. Nope, can't do that. Off to jail you go. So demonstrations or dissemination of material, so you can't even write it down. You can't even have a pamphlet about a judge. Even if the information in that pamphlet is well thought out, well researched, and all 100% true, you can't do it. Judiciary run amok. So dissemination of materials that degrade or call into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges by, for example, claiming the court personnel or judges are corrupt, biased, dishonest, partial, or prejudiced, thereby tending to influence, quote unquote, individuals appearing before the courts, including jurors, witnesses, and litigants, shall be prohibited on the Duval County Courthouse grounds. The judge said and ordered. Any person engaging in the type of expressive conduct as indicated in this order may be found in criminal contempt of court. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office shall give any person on the courthouse grounds who is violating any provision of this order a copy of this order and advise such person of the relevant restrictions herein. So the judge just created a law. Judges can't do that by the Constitution, but this judge, I can make my own law. I guess if I were to stand on the Duval County Courthouse and call out the judge by saying it is constitutionally illegal for a judge to write a law, I guess I would be found in contempt and go to jail. Are you people hearing this? He said that if an individual is observed to engage in conduct that is in violation of this order after having been provided notice as set forth herein, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is hereby directed to arrest and charge the offending individual with indirect criminal contempt of court and any other charges deemed appropriate, and transport such person to the Duval County Jail for identification and arresting processing. So, any other relevant charges. So they can just start trumping up all kinds of stuff. And you want to talk, we already have people that hate the police as it is. Can you imagine if a sheriff's deputy goes to arrest somebody for practicing their free speech, their First Amendment rights? And that person even looks at, probably thinking, are you kidding me? And probably jerks back from the officer thinking he's not doing anything illegal. And well, now all of a sudden, now he's got a resisting arrest. And if he touches the officer, he's probably got, assaulting an officer, as well as indirect contempt of court. That, by the time this person gets done, he's probably got 5 or 6 new charges. And bail set at $10,000 or more. Look, the cops are ordered to, they have to defend the law. But you know what? What the police fail to also sometimes realize is just like the military. You do not have to follow an illegal order. This order from this judge is anti-constitutional, it is unconstitutional, and therefore illegal. He cannot just decide, well, you don't get to call into question the judges on the bench here in this county. Oh, no, you don't get to do that. You don't. I don't care who the hell you think you are. You don't get to do it. Because the Constitution basically says that you have a right to, your freedom of expression, and the government, meaning the judges too, cannot infringe upon that right. Now, the ruling has rightfully generated concern for its impact on the First Amendment. Said other penalties could include injunctive relief, confinement, a monetary fine, or otherwise. You know what otherwise is? Otherwise is jail. Just jail time. Now, if you're, for contempt of court, judge, there is no trial for contempt. This is the problem with locking people up for contempt. There is no trial. You just go to jail, you go straight to jail, and you stay there as long as the judge says so. Look, again, I can't make this stuff up. I wish I could. Look, you got the IRS over there telling you how to spend your money. And if you don't spend it the way they tell you that you can spend it, they're going to fine you nearly $40,000. And now you got a judge down in Florida who says, well, you don't have a First Amendment right on the on public property around here, so don't even try it. And people are wondering, what about Donald Trump. I mean, can we have a wake up call here in America? I mean, look, I can't. I'm beside myself in this one. I mean, look, folks, I have been doing this broadcast. I started doing this in 2009. And no, in the greater scheme of things, especially with a lot of the other, talk shows and political shows and non-political and all that kind, I get it. I'm still kind of a noob. I get it. But, I don't hear very many people talking to you the way I'm talking to you. I don't hear very many people coming down and slamming our politicians and our judges and people who are running our government. I do not hear it. And maybe if there were more voices like mine out there who were calling for this stuff to be, to cut it out, maybe we'd start finally making some progress, and we'd start getting rid of all the polished politicians. We start getting some real non-fake people in different levels of offices, from local to state to federal. And we'd actually start to turn our country back around and turn ourselves back toward our Constitution, where everybody has more freedom, more liberty, and more money in their back pocket. But, you could call me a lone voice in the wind. I don't care. I'm going to keep shouting it as loud as I can for as long as I'm sure that somebody's probably trying to write a law somewhere that would prevent people like me from getting on the, it's going to be the FCC. They're going to come down and say, well, Rod, this is, the fairness doctrine for the internet. That we now get to regulate because we said we get to regulate it. So you got to be a little bit more fair. So you can't talk about certain stuff without having an alternate comment. Look, I fully expect that to be coming from the FCC. Unless we get them out of the business of regulating the internet, it is not going to be a free-for-all for very long. Don't doubt me on that. Do not, and if you people sometimes, I find it funny that people get, it is unfathomable how upset people get about being censured on Facebook. I mean, they get livid. Like, are you kidding me? You don't own Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. But you do own the government. And they're doing all kinds of things worse than Facebook, but you're more upset with Facebook for putting you in a timeout than what the government is doing to you. I'm not even, with this happening today, people's attitudes, like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be blunt, I'm not even sure if we're worth saving. I'm not sure if we deserve it. Do you think so?
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
The following letters were written by our troops.
My dear fellow Americans, I truly appreciate your support. I was starting to wonder if people had forgotten about us over here. But then one of my buddies showed me this website, and now as tears are streaming down my face, I can see for sure that you haven't. Private Emily B., U.S. Army.
It's so heartwarming to see the American people not letting the men and women of the armed forces be forgotten. Your letters make a group of grown men, battle-hardened and gruff, act like a bunch of kids around a Christmas tree. Thanks. Staff Sergeant Matthew H., U.S. Army.
Your support may be the most important thing our troops can carry with them. But don't take our word for it. Take theirs. To show your support, visit americasupportsyou.mil. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Defense and the Ad Council.
Millions of Americans every day are shedding unwanted pounds by taking tested and proven Ultra Lipo Stick. Carbohydrates are bad. Our carbo-fighting antioxidant is good. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
My name is Gail, and I lost like 20 pounds on Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Jared, and I lost 46 pounds using Ultra Lipo Stick.
My name is Zach, and I actually gained weight. This stuff sucks!
Ultra Lipo Stick is safe and easy to inject. Just 3 doses 4 times a day, discreetly underneath your fingernail. Listen to this.
I used Ultra Lipo Stick and suffered from side effects like uncontrollable greasy discharge.
Ultra Lipo Stick, it turned the armpits of all of my shirts orange. This stuff is crap.
Try it today and see some real results. Ultra Lipo Stick. Not available in stores. Results may vary.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Most politically incorrect black man on the planet, Rod Eccles.
Well, hello, my fellow Americans. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, back again. Coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere in the great granite state of New Hampshire, where the state motto here in New Hampshire is still live free or die. It is not big government or bust, even if it's something else somewhere else in another state. Here in the this state of New Hampshire, it is live free or die. It is not big government or bust. It is Tuesday, July the 7th in the year of our Lord 2015. The number that you can call this evening is 603-835-3224, and that's a toll-free number. Feel free to pick up the phone, dial it, give me a ring, tell me what's on your mind, and we will take it from there. I guess if you have the guts to give me a ring. It's all it takes, just a call, just a phone call. No, you know, I didn't. Some people are probably going to say, Rod, you went a little over the top, man, saying that you don't think that we might not deserve to be. Well, what would you call it? If you're not deserving of something, you're not going to get it or you're not going to keep it. So maybe the generations alive today just are not deserving of the Constitution that our founding fathers left us. Maybe we should stop calling ourselves the United States of America and just call ourselves the provinces of America. Because, our federal government seems to be taking away states' rights and people's rights left and right. So if we're just going to be a very large single nation, then we can't have states, but we can have provinces. Like Canada. So let's just do it. And you don't have governors. You have what? Well, do you have governors of a province? Well, you have provincial governors, I guess. Yes. But this is some of the things that I have faulted the founding. Like I said, the founding fathers were not perfect, but this is where I fault them. As they were coming together to form a union of 13 small little countries, if you will, they should have had the foresight. They had the foresight for so much, but not this one. To change what they called the governors, the leaders of each state. They should have been called the president. President of New Hampshire, president of New York, president of Wyoming, president of Texas, president of California. All of them should have been called presidents. And then there would be the president of the United States. So that you would understand exactly that the states do have their own rights. And we probably wouldn't have half the issues that we're having today if we just changed the title of governor to president. I'm saying that we should do it. We should be changing the title of each state's chief executive to president. And in a way, that's putting them almost on equal footing as a president of the United States. Because that's what they're supposed to be. And if people do not understand and recognize that, then it is highly possible that we do not deserve to have this form of government with this Constitution. So, you should change it. Call us the provinces of America, and be done with it. And I'm sure most of you liberals out there who think that big government is the answer, I am sure that if we were to dump our Constitution and get rid of our liberties and our Bill of Rights, that most of you liberals would not like the country that you got. You would not. You don't know what you're asking for, but you're acting like a bunch of little children that aren't getting their way. But let me tell you, let me be blunt. You are not, if this country falls apart and you start having states seceding from the Union, you are not going to like one little bit the countries that emerge. You're not going to like them. Plain and simple. Texas goes back to the Republic of Texas. Texans aren't going to like it. In this day and age, it's not like it was back in the 1800s. Texas, you can't go it alone. You're not going to like it. And many of the other states, oh, hell no, you're not going to like it either. Understand that once you dissolve the Union, that all that federal money, it's dried up. All that federal protection called the United States military, that's gone. You're not going to like what comes next. But hey, that might be the kind of countries and governments that we deserve. Unless we do some drastic changing now, I'm afraid that's the way we're going to go. I know. Well, Rod, that's too blunt. That's too out there. No, it's not out there, man. I've been telling you since 2009, do not doubt me. And every time something comes true, it always does. I get that. Man, you were right, Rod. You were right about that. Yeah, I know I'm right about that. And I'm just as right about this. Look, you've got these people, these elitists, who have their hands around our collective throats, and they're starting to squeeze and choke. And here, you had Hillary Clinton. Now, this is a woman who was so shrill that said that, we're Americans and we have the right to our own opinion and to disagree with any administration. And now she's out there saying on the campaign trail, people who diss the government are dissing our democracy. Look, you can disagree with the George W. Bush administration, but if you're disagreeing or dissing this administration of Obama and, by fiat me, because I was a part of the first, Obama administration, well, now you're dissing our democracy. Washington Times, folks. Hillary Rodham Clinton said earlier today that while skepticism of government is part of our DNA as Americans, people who openly diss the government are effectively dissing our democracy. When people diss the government, we're really dissing ourselves and dissing our democracy, she told supporters in Iowa City. This is my last rodeo, and I believe that we can leave not just the country in good shape for the future, but we can get a deep bench of young people to decide that they want to go into politics. Because, hey, after all, those of you who don't diss this government, you'll have a place to rule in this government. Not govern, but to rule. Because, otherwise you're dissing yourself, you're dissing your government, you're dissing your country, you're dissing your ma and your pa and your grandpappy and your grandmammy and your favorite Aunt Bernice. Doesn't everybody have an Aunt Bernice somewhere? I think so. If everybody's got an Aunt Bernice. Even if you don't know, where she is, I'm sure I've got an Aunt Bernice somewhere, or at least had. It just seems like, the normal thing. Everybody should have an Aunt Bernice. Aunt Bernice. You have a Florida judge saying that you cannot try to discredit or state your opinion about the judiciary down in Florida. And if you do, you're going to be arrested and possibly charged with who knows what kind of crime charges. They could pile them up for all he cares. Any other charge is necessary to get you to shut up and throw your butt in jail. And now we have Clinton out there on the campaign trail talking about that if a woman who said you have a right to disagree with any administration, now telling you that if you diss this government, you're dissing your government. And that's not a good thing. I can't make this stuff up, folks. If you do not think that my predictions have a chance in hell of coming true, then you tell me what's going to happen. Become a prestidigitator and tell me what's going to happen. Be clairvoyant yourself. Tell us all what's going to happen. If my predictions, which keep coming true, about the state and status of the United States of America is not going to come true if we keep going down this road, then you tell me through your clairvoyance what is going to be the state of America in 4, 8, 12 years. What are we going to look like in the year 2020 and 2030? If we keep going down this road, I'm afraid when we get to the next intersection in 2020, it is not going to be a pretty intersection. It's going to be an intersection that you don't like. I mean, here's... Look, again, I don't have anything, and I guess if I say this, I'm probably dissing somebody somewhere. But, oh well, too bad. Live with it. But we have, the Army has just announced that they're going to cut 40,000 troops over the next 2 years. I mean, another 40,000 troops. We're going to shrink our military even more. We're in the middle of trying to figure out how to fight ISIS and ISIL. We have the Russians who are strafing our borders. We have the Chinese that are building up tremendously their military capabilities and building military islands out of nothing in the middle of the South China Sea. And we're talking about shrinking our military even more to the tune of cutting 40,000 troops over the next 2 years. And all this while the United States Air Force allows rainbow-striped U.S. flag on an Air Force base. I again ask you, do we deserve the government that our founders left us, or do we deserve something far worse? Hey, Russian nuclear-capable bombers were cruising the California-Alaska coastlines on July 4th. They weren't invited. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up to this stuff. We're having our airspace, our sovereignty invaded left and right, whether it's on the ground or in the air. Whether it's by illegal immigrants, it's by combatants, it's by terrorists, or it's by countries that do not like us. But hey, Donald Trump is the bad guy for saying the truth, right? For spelling out the truth. He should act more presidential now. He's got to be more polished, really. I say the people that have the most to lose should probably have a shot at running our government. Now think about it. The Donald has a real estate empire for himself and his family. He's got a lot to lose if this country goes south. A lot. I think he'd want to protect it and save it and keep it. Much like the industrialists of the Industrial Revolution age, the late 19th and early 20th centuries. People like Mellon and Carnegie and Vanderbilt and those people. They had a lot to lose. I'm sure they would, they'd come around to wanting to promote a constitutional, positive government. And they'd be dumping on Hillary. They'd be dissing Hillary for her stupid statement. Speaking of stupid statements, the White House blames Republicans for the deported San Francisco killer. Look, folks, I can't make this stuff up. I don't have that kind of imagination. Hollywood can't make this stuff up. You remember the movie Wag the Dog? Well, it was based on real life stuff from the Clinton administration. Even Hollywood can't make this kind of stuff up. If Hollywood comes up with something that seems to be really out there, you've got to understand they've gotten it from real life somewhere. They can't make this stuff up either. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest is blaming Republicans after an illegal immigrant who was reportedly deported 5 times was charged with murder in California. Yeah. Yep. When asked by reporters about critics of President Obama's immigration enforcement policies, Ernest insisted that it was actually Republicans who were at fault for voting against the Gang of 8 bill last year, pointing out that it contained funding to increase. Look, how many times have we've actually not only increased funding for border security, we've also included funding to build the damn fence and wall down there, and it hasn't been built. And not only it does no good to put more Border Patrol agents on the border when they can't do their job. They have rules of engagement, and they're being shot at. But no. You can't shoot back at them yet. And when they do, an illegal immigrant gets killed, and the Border Patrol agent goes to jail. I don't need to. What kind of crazy nonsense is this? Again, this is stuff you can't make. I'm sure there are other countries across the planet that are looking over at the United States and scratching their heads, thinking, "Wait a minute. Let me see if I get this straight. You have an open border, but you have ability, money, and technology to build fence and wall, to keep out undesirables, but you do not do it. Okay, but maybe you don't want to make countryside look ugly with fence like, Berlin Wall. We get that. Okay, fine. But you put more Border Patrol people, on your border to stop illegal immigrants from crossing border. And they come across border, and they shoot at your agents who are trying to protect border, and agents shoot back at people, illegal, criminal, who shoot at border agent. Border agent kill or injure illegal person coming across illegally into your country illegally. Border agent who your government put there on the border to protect the border, your border agent, go to jail? We're a laughing stock. Do you think that if you were to illegally cross at least half of the world's borders, that you would actually get a chance to live to tell about it if they caught you? They would shoot you on sight, Jack, including Mexico. I mean, this is, and you don't get a do-over or a second chance. If they catch you, you live and you survive, they'll throw your butt in jail. And if you survive jail, they'll put you off at the border, say, start walking, you turn around, you die. Look, that's the Mexican way. Again, you can look it up yourself. I'm not making it up. I mean, I don't. It's almost to the point where I can't take the stupidity, the ultra sheer stupidity. I'm not even talking ignorance, because ignorance you can treat. Ignorance is treatable with education, but stupidity is not. This is just sheer stupidity. Plain and simple. I mean, it is so stupid it borders on mental retardation. It really does. And I stopped short of calling it mental retardation because that would be an affront and a diss, if you will, to those who really are mentally disabled. Because they don't have a choice and they can't help it that they are the way they are. But see, the sheer stupid, they can help how they are. And they would rather not smarten up. They'd rather remain stupid. I mean, Ron White, one of my favorite comedians, he says it best. You can't fix stupid. You certainly, it seems that is true. Look, it's you keep voting for these people that keep taking away your rights and keep throwing their hands around your throat and squeezing while taking money out of your pocket on a daily basis if you don't spend it the way they want you to spend it. And you say to me that this person, Donald Trump, he's not acting presidential. All the while, everybody who has ever acted presidential has let you down, has screwed you over, has stolen your money, and you want to tell me that Donald Trump needs to act more presidential. No, I say that all of those politicians need to act more like Donald Trump. Because I don't think Donald Trump is going to have his hand in my pocket. No way, no how. I don't think Donald Trump is going to, I think he'd do a lot more to protect this country and save this country than any other candidate right now running for president. Yeah, there I said it. I'm stopping short of endorsing him, but I think right now he might be our best hope.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. Call InventHelp today.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 52security.com. That's the number 52security.com. 52security.com. Go to 52security.com.
Hurt or injured in a car accident? It can be hard to take the proper legal action after a car accident, but waiting can cost you more. The law requires car accident victims to assert claims promptly. You could lose out by simply waiting. Call 800-709-4667 right now to see what your claim could be worth when handled by a skilled attorney. With a lawyer fighting and speaking up for you, you could be entitled to a big cash award. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Now it's fast and easy to connect with the legal help you need after your car accident. Call 800-709-4667. The call is free, but you need to act now before time runs out on your claim. You need a lawyer to fight for you, protect you, and get you the compensation you need and deserve. Time's wasting. Call 800-709-4667. That's 800-709-4667. Call now.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
You shouldn't have to pay to talk to the people closest to you, or the people who used to be. That's why Umbrella Wireless is proud to announce the new Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan. Now you'll get unlimited calls to your best buddy, your mom, or Cindy, once she realizes that you're seriously meant for each other and should stop screening your calls. Now the 30 minutes of agonizing silence where you're both afraid to hang up may drain your battery, but it won't drain your wallet. And you'll get unlimited calls just to check if she still cares enough to pick up, with no extra charges. With the Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, your phone will automatically answer calls from your ex, because maybe she finally realizes that you're the only one for her and wants to get coffee sometime. Now, after lonely nights of looking at pictures of the road trip you took together when everything was great, your misspelled texts are absolutely free. The only thing you have to pay for is the booze. The Friends, Family, and Recent Ex-Girlfriend plan, because she wants you back. She just doesn't know it yet.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show.
You know, the fact is, according to the story about blaming Republicans after an illegal immigrant who was reportedly deported 5 times was charged with murder in California, the fact is, according to Josh Earnest, the fact is that the president has done everything within his power to make sure that we are focusing our law enforcement resources on criminals and those who pose a threat to public safety. And it's become it's because of the political efforts of Republicans that we've not been able to make the kinds of investment that we'd like to make in securing our border and keeping our communities safe. Now, who does he think he is trying to bullshit? This guy. Well, let me finish. Francisco Sanchez was charged with shooting and killing a 32-year-old San Francisco woman last week, leading to criticism from illegal immigration activists. Now, Ernest deferred questions about details of the case to the Department of Homeland Security, who let this nut job go. They let him go. And hey, it's Republicans' fault because they wouldn't give me more money to put more border guards on the border. That I wouldn't let shoot this guy if he tried to come back across for a 6th time. We caught him 5 times, put his butt in jail. I let him go, but it's Republicans' fault, plain and simple. I'm just telling you, because they didn't give me the money that I was looking for to put more border patrol guards on the border. That some of them probably wouldn't even have guns because they're not allowed to shoot back. Because we put border patrol agents in jail if they shoot back. Yeah. Again, stop. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't. Look, I am going out of my mind tonight. It's just one of those days. One of those. When you look around and the stupidity piles up everywhere that you look, and you just say, OMG. How the hell are we going to fix this? And you almost just want to pack your bags and leave. And then you realize, where the hell am I going to go? There's nowhere else to go. Well, I suppose I could, but I don't want to live in Northwest Territory of Canada, and I don't want to live in Alaska because it's too damn cold for too long up there. I mean, I want to have summers that are longer than 30 days. So I can't go to Canada because, Canada's just as screwed up as the United States is right now. I don't know. Well, maybe they're, some of the Caribbean islands, however you want to pronounce it. Maybe some of them are the way. I hear people going, to South America, Ecuador. That uses the American dollar is Ecuador's national currency. So maybe that might not be a bad idea, and certain other Caribbean islands might be a good, Nassau or something might be a good choice. But there's no such thing as paradise because except for Ecuador. But in the Caribbean you have to deal with hurricanes. I don't want to have to deal with hurricanes. So, I do remember there was a program on HGTV that showed Americans searching for homes in, I think it was House Hunt International Ecuador or something like that. And all it did was show it was a series, people of Americans trying to move to Ecuador, and how equitable, yeah, pun intended. How nice it was for Americans to move to Ecuador, and that the government of Ecuador was kind of enticing Americans to move down there, and obviously bring the American green back with them because it helps their economy. And, home prices down there are fairly reasonable. Now, you just have to figure out how to make a living. But, maybe that's my escape route. I don't know. I'm not going to be like some of these people. Well, if this thing happens or if this doesn't happen, I'm moving. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take for me to finally look and search for some alternative place. But, we're not the Titanic yet. This is not a sinking ship, but I got to tell you, we're kind of dead in the water right now. So, and it's not yet time to pan. I'll tell you when it's time to abandon ship. And, but the only problem with me telling you when it's time to abandon ship is I will have already abandoned and gone somewhere, and I will be somewhere else telling you to abandon ship. Look, I'm not the captain of the ship, so I don't have to stick around. I'm just telling you what you need to do in order to right the ship and get it going on the right course again. And if you want to support stupid people for government, that's your prerogative. It just proves how stupid you are. If you want more polished professional politicians, then shame on you, because that's just stupid. Because they will tell you anything, say anything, and almost do anything up to election time to get you to vote for them, to put them in office. And once they get in office, they'll turn around, thumb their nose at you, go, yeah, 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 yeah. And then they'll turn around when they're coming back for you to reelect them, they'll start pointing fingers. Well, it wasn't my fault. It was that guy over there's fault. Hey, kind of just like, what Obama's saying over here. It's not my fault. No, it's not my fault. It's the Republicans' fault that this San Francisco woman killer, Francisco Sanchez, did all that killing. Not my fault. I may have let him go, but it's it's the Republicans' fault because they didn't give me the money. So if this is what you want, is everybody pointing fingers at everybody else, playing the blame game instead of actually doing something that's your right and your prerogative, I think it's stupid, and I'm not going to play that game. At some point, smart people like me are just going to throw our hands up and say, fine, have it your way. We out of here. The old colloquial, well, the new colloquial speak, we out. And we'll leave all this shit for you. If you want to support socialism and all that kind of stuff that has been proven to have failed over and over and over again all across the planet throughout history, then fine, go ahead and have it. But you're not going to get bailed out. And I think there's another country that's finally figuring this one out, Greece. Because they probably thought, if we can't make our payment, they'll bail us out again. And they're not getting bailed out this time. And they're like, oh my God, they're not bailing us out? What are we going to do? Collapse? Pretty much. Let me tell you, there isn't another country on the planet right now that can afford to take care of the United States to keep it from collapsing. It just, they're just not out there. They don't have the money. But hey, that's just plain and simple. They don't have the money. So if you want to keep electing people who are all polished and sound nice and pretty and keep pointing the fingers at other people instead of taking responsibility and doing the right thing and telling you the truth and telling you like it is without sugarcoating it, then that's your right to do it. But I don't want that. I want somebody, if it's not Donald Trump, because I don't agree with everything he says or does, but I want somebody like that. I want somebody like the Donald. And who will stick to his guns when he says something instead of rolling it back saying, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it that way. No, please forgive me, please. I know it was a slip of the tongue. I didn't mean to say it that way. No, I'm so sorry. Screw that. Donald saying, screw you. I'm not changing anything I said. What I said was the truth and I'm sticking by it. That's the kind of politician I want. Well, that's not even a politician, but that's a statesman. I want a statesman in office. I want more statesmen in office. And yeah, I'm not politically correct. If you're a woman, you're a statesman. You're not a stateswoman. I don't do that PC crap. Hey, I'm the coolest, most politically incorrect conservative black man on the planet. I do not do political correctness at all. Yeah, too bad if you don't like it. Don't listen. Telling you like it is. Hey, another thing. Nobel-winning, prize-winning physicist who once backed President Obama this is a WashingtonTimes.com story. He once backed Obama. Says the president is dead wrong on global warming. I'm not making it up. A Nobel laureate who supported President Obama in his first presidential campaign now says the Democratic president is dead wrong on global warming. Yeah, he said that. Dead wrong. Hey, Mr. President, you're wrong on global warming. You can't, it's not right. And it's not right for a reason. Because he's using science. I'm just saying, he's using science. It's not. I guess he was giving a speech, and he says, his name is Ivar Giaever, Giaever, a scientist who shared the 1973 Nobel Prize in Physics, challenged Mr. Obama in a July 1st speech at the 65th Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting in Lindau, Germany. His speech, Global Warming Revisited, came in sharp contrast to the effort by another Nobel laureate, Brian Schmidt, who introduced the Mainau Declaration 2015 on climate change. And he says, we believe that the nations of the world must take the opportunity at the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Paris in December 2015 to take decisive action to limit future global emissions, said the declaration, which was signed by 36 laureates, according to Time magazine. Now, Mr. Schmidt was actually born in Montana, shared the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2011. Now, he says failure to act subject future generations of humanity to unconscionable and unacceptable risk. I don't know what the unacceptable risk is. In his speech, however, Mr. Giaever, Global Warming Revisited, cited a statement from Mr. Obama's State of the Union address on January 20th, in which the president said that no challenge poses a greater threat to future generations than climate change. Mr. Giaever said, how can he say that? I think Obama is a clever person, but he gets bad advice. Global warming is all wet. Now, his recommendation, he says, I would say that global warming basically is a non-problem. Just leave it alone and it will take care of itself. Hallelujah. There are a bunch of scientists that are saying the same thing. We don't affect Mother Nature in that way. We can't, in such a short period of time, do such a tremendous planet-wide global devastation that Mother Nature can't do anything about it. Now, Mr. Giaever, Norwegian, was one of the more than 70 Nobel laureates in science who signed a letter in 2008 endorsing Mr. Obama's presidential campaign. Yeah, foreigners endorsing somebody for us to elect. That's just wonderful. But he has since taken a more skeptical view of the so-called scientific consensus on climate. Look, science is not built on consensus, by the way. Let me just throw that in there. Now, Mr. Guyver resigned from the Advanced Physical Society in 2011 over its statement that the evidence is incontrovertible that global warming is occurring. In other words, he's saying, no, we can't say that. And he goes on to say, Obama said last year that 2014 is the hottest year ever, but it's not true. It's not the hottest. Mr. Guyver said, arguing that the mean global temperature has not risen in nearly 19 years. Here is a well-educated Nobel laureate who's looking at the data and scratching his head and saying, wait a minute. The mean temperature hasn't risen in 19 years. There is no global warming happening, and this is not the hottest year on record. And you know what? Over the past couple of years, I would like you to, I don't know, when, we've had, last 2 or 3 years, we've had some record cold, record snow accumulation during the winter. Now, 2 years ago, you had Eastern Europe and Northern Europe that was under a 2-month icy grip. It was 50 below in Siberia, Russia for days on end. That's global warming? Oh, look, the temperature, it rise from minus 50 to minus 25. Yeah, we got global warming. We knew it. Oh, we're going to all die. He cited data showing from 1898 to 1998, the global temperature increased by about 0.8 degrees Fahrenheit, arguing, I think the temperature has been amazingly stable, actually. He also challenged those who say that the climate change has resulted in extreme weather, which he dismissed as an effort to scare people. I have been saying this all along. Oh, no, but we're told, no. All of these wonderful, beautiful scientists, they all agree that man-made global warming is a reality and that we're the ones doing the damage. And you don't hear very many, you don't see a microphone put in front of the faces of any real supposed quote-unquote scientist who disagrees with the premise of man-made global warming. Oh, no. You can't break from the mold. You can't break from the consensus. That's just not doable. And here he's being plain. And much like Donald Trump. Oh, this is just an effort to scare people. Hello? Although I think that Donald kind of believes in global warming, doesn't he? I don't know his position on that, on man-made climate change. I think he believes in it. He thinks we ought to do something about it. I guess, I don't know. But like I said, I don't agree with everything that the man says or does, but at least he's very outspoken and bold about it. And here you got a laureate scientist saying, God, there's no extreme weather. This is just an effort to scare people. And the contention that sea levels are rising unusually quickly, saying that there is no unusual rise in sea level. What did I tell you, folks? If you've listened to the show long enough, I've been saying there is no, because if we've had all of this rise in sea level, why aren't our coastal towns and cities underwater by now? None of them are. I told you there is no rising sea. In fact, with all this polar ice that's been on the two caps over the past couple of years, the sea levels have actually dropped. You can't tell. No, Rod, you can't tell the truth. You can't go by the truth, Rod. That just won't work. No. You can't use facts, Rod. You can't use factual scientific data, Rod. No, you want what? Rod, you want to use NASA pictorial evidence of the growing polar ice caps and ice cover? Especially over the winter when nearly 90% of the Great Lakes was covered in sheets of ice. If you want to use that evidence, Rod, no, you can't use that, Rod. We're not here to use evidence. We're not here to quote factual science, Rod. Who the hell do you think you are, Rod, to want to use facts and figures and evidence that shows that, the ocean levels are not rising, the seas are not rising, the temperature is not rising, and, mankind is not in charge of Mother Nature? Oh, who are you to use facts to prove that, Rod? You can't do that. You're not a scientist. No, I'm just using scientific data. You can't understand scientific data, Rod. You're not a Nobel laureate. Okay, well, this Nobel laureate just said that we're using all this information just to try to scare people. Oh, what the hell does he know? He's a Nobel laureate. He doesn't know anything, Rod. You can't use that. He's a rogue. Well, there's a lot of Nobel laureates that they're all rogues. Oh. So anybody who disagrees with you is just a rogue. That's right. Because you have consensus on the science. Not facts, just consensus. That's right. Newsflash. Science is not based on consensus. It's based on fact. Well, no, we're using the consensus model. Okay, I think I can get a lot of scientists together. We can just come up with a consensus that gravity isn't really gravity. Well, no, you can't do that. Well, if we all have a consensus that it's not, wouldn't that be true? Well, no. Because we have facts about gravity. No. The facts don't matter, man. I can get together a bunch of Nobel laureate scientists and we could convince the people through scientific consensus that gravity is not really gravity. That it is not the force that keeps people on the ground. Yep. Why not? We can produce all kinds of scientific evidence to prove it, right? Or, well, at least say that we prove it. And we come together and we have world conferences with the United Nations that talk about this whole gravity thing. Oh my goodness, if we don't try to figure out what real gravity is really about, we might end up with a planet that has too much gravity. We could be causing gravity to increase and that's why people are getting fatter, is they're not really getting fatter, it's just the gravity's increasing, which causes them to weigh more. And it's man-made. We got to do something about that. I could come up with a scientific consensus and that would be science, right? Well, no, Rod, because there's all kinds of scientific evidence that says that gravity is gravity and gravity is constant. Well, that doesn't matter because you just told me that consensus is ruling the day on this stupid man-made climate stuff. And that man has got to pay through the wazoo in order to fix something that isn't broken. Because of scientific consensus. Oh, now, Rod, you're just being absurd. Yes, I'm being absurd to illustrate the absurd. And frankly, Mr. Guyver has just called you all out and said that you're all pretty absurd over man-made global warming. Don't you love it? That's a piece of good news right there. Again, that stuff you just can't make up. Now, I'm glad that was the last story I'm bringing to you today, because now that kind of puts a smile on my face. I'm smiling from ear to yeah. I don't have a cam, whatever Rush has. I don't have a ditto cam in the Bunker Eyes home studio, and I'll never get one. But you know what? Just makes me happy that there is hope for mankind yet when you have somebody that actually stands up and tells you like it is. You guys are just using all this global warming stuff to try to scare people. That's the truth. Well, out of time for today. We'll be back here tomorrow, folks. I'm Rod Eccles. This has been the Rod Eccles Show. Thanks for joining me. I'm out.